evening, everyone. Welcome back to the S2 Gig Podcast, episode number 11. Happy February. It is February 2nd. Happy Black History Month. Shout out to Martin Luther King. Just before we get to our usual stuff real quick, shout out to Martin Luther King. That is one of my favorite people that I think a lot of people look up to. Without him, maybe segregation wouldn't have been freed. And without Jackie Robinson, who knows what sports would be like. I feel like he really changed the outlook. But yeah, that's all I had to say. Sorry if it was getting too serious there, but that's all I wanted to say, and let's just get on to this.
Yes. All right.
Also, no disrespect, obviously, to Black History Month, but February is one of my my most hated month of the year. I really don't enjoy it. It's really depressing.
No sports. Well, there's basketball, but it's still enough of the regular season. And for you guys, it's baseball, like before the preseason football's over because Super Bowl. So,
yeah. The Knicks have been insanely fun to watch. So February, please be good to me. The Knicks are 15-2 since January 1st. So I'll take it. Better not have another.
Knicks are third now, guys. They're behind the Bucks and the Celtics, and they're 9-1
by the Bucks.
Yeah, by game to the Bucks. Yeah, that's true, and obviously the Celtics have a bit of lead. And then in number one on the West, the Thunder are in first at 34-15, and the Timberwolves, who had number one for a while, are a bit behind them, followed by the Clippers and Nuggets. The Kings are the fifth now, and then Suns 6th, 7th, Pelicans. My Warriors are not doing too great. We got a much-needed win, though, versus the 76ers at home, but man, it's a little tough out here.
And he just tore his meniscus, too, I think.
Oh, no. So I haven't been keeping as much of the NBA as much, and I shouldn't be complaining because I got to watch this team win 4 championships. But anyway, what we're actually doing today is we are going to be doing our so there's been a lot of head coaching movement. We've officially had everyone locked in with a new hire as of this week, and today I made a tier list, and we're going to basically be ranking what we think of the moves here. So it's very exciting. Also, this is also random, but another Black actor, Carl Weathers, he played Apollo Creed in Rocky and played Grief Karga in Mandalorian. He passed away in his sleep 2 days yesterday. So,
wait, did he play Chubbs or whatever his name was in Happy Gilmore?
Because I think it's Happy Gilmore. Let me look at the actor.
Because I love that guy.
Oh, yeah. No, he did. Yeah, he played Carl Weathers. He's the former NFL star, but he played Apollo Reed, Derek Chubbs, Peterson, and Happy Gilmore. Yeah, no, so he died, and I like him for Grief Karga and Apollo Creed. But he passed away in his sleep on yesterday, so very unfortunate.
Damn.
I got that news an hour ago and was very sad. I know we're going off topic, but Mandalorian's a little weird because one of the main actors already was left from that show, and now Grief Karga, which is even a bigger main character, is going to have his shoes filled. So Mandalorian season 4 is going to be a little weird. But anyway, sorry. We are very off topic, but we're going to start with this tier list and get into it. So first up, We'll go on to Mike McDonald later for the Seahawks, but let's just get the others out of the way. So first up, we have Hafley. He is the Boston College. He's the new DC for the Packers. So Mal, you know this team well. So what's your thoughts? I forgot his first name just now. I know I just made this.
If I'm being honest, when you hire a college coach, it's always a gamble. I do trust Matt LaFleur, however, because I just think he's a great head coach, and anyone that ever called him a fraud is really eating their words now, because he sure is one of the best in the league. And the thing, though, is Matt LaFleur is an offensive coach. This is a defense coordinator that they hired after firing Joe Barry. And again, he came from Boston College. They're
Jeff
not.
Halfley, by the way. I remember his name now, guys.
Yeah, Jeff Halfley. They're not like, Boston College is not like amazing by any like stretch of the matter, but
It's not like how it was in like the 90s, I think.
or even when
They
they
got
had
Zay recently, though, from there, who's been pretty good. But yeah, you're right.
or
No,
even
they
Matt.
always turn out some
like,
good players.
But
Yeah, they
like
have.
again, I feel like this belongs on like not sure yet, because when you hire a college coach, especially one that doesn't have like much say popularity as a coach, you don't really know what to think of them. Not to say that it's a bad hiring, because it's not, or we just don't know. We just don't know. It's very, very
I feel like
very shocking one, to say the least.
I'm not saying I feel like there in a way there could be better options, but honestly, I don't think it's terrible.
I mean,
No.
we've seen some good college before. Like, we've seen Todd Monken. He was the OC of the Bulldogs back-to-back championship years, or at least their first championship came to the Ravens. He definitely was better than Greg Roman and helped them get to where they were this season. Now, did he shit the bed against the Chiefs and decided to not run the ball? His biggest strength against beating good teams? Absolutely. Did he get spooked from the Chiefs stuffing like one run and decide to never run the ball again? Yeah, but my point is he's still been good. And Mike McDonald also had 2 good years at Michigan. So, and he now had also some good experience under the other
that is
Harbaugh brother.
Boston. I mean, but Georgia and Michigan are definitely much better than Boston. Now, again, I'm not shitting on the move. Excuse my language. I'm not like necessarily bashing the move. I'm just saying, like you just mentioned, the Ravens when they hired Mike McDonald is,
And Todd Monken.
Yeah. But again, the difference is Georgia and Michigan are much better schools than
Boston College.
And yes,
Okay, that's fair. I was just pointing out that there's a good chance, and I think it's from what I've heard, it seems like a solid move. Again, I also don't know much, so I'm going to just agree with Mal and put him in the not sure yet.
Wait, no, I agree. Not sure yet is right. I'm just saying though, I wouldn't really compare it to Mike McDonald, or just because of the schools,
Fair enough. Okay, next up we got Dan Quinn. People thought he'd go to Seattle a little bit ago. If they wanted to hire Dan Quinn, they would have done it way before they did with Mike McDonald, because they already got his 2 interviews in. He seemed like a hot coaching prospect, a couple years ago, and again this year. But then I think the Cowboys Packers game definitely dropped his stock off the moon. I
feel
don't
like it was
know.
a
I think he's
panic move.
I think he's
Like-
solid, but at the same time, the Commanders, what they basically did hiring him was, hey, we had a former NFC South coach that choked in a big moment. You want to see me do it again?
I think it's also they kind of panicked because everybody, like Ben Johnson, obviously is staying in Detroit.
Yeah, that was a big move, I think, that impacted Seattle and Commanders' decision, because they both had planes flying out there to interview him twice. I know Seattle was going to, but he obviously pulled out.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I don't like this move. Looks like Sam Howell's not the quarterback, man. You don't get a defensive head coach when you're not gonna help out my boy. How dare the Commanders? Get Sam Howell out of there, man. You guys are ruining his career. Fuck you guys, man. Excuse my language, but I'm actually mad at the Commanders for this, dude. How dare you guys try to ruin my favorite quarterback's career?
Okay, listen. Your
like the
bias
move
aside, though,
personally.
Mal, like, what do you actually think of the move? I don't think it's the worst thing, but I don't think it's the best. I'd put it at like a B or C tier.
I think it's a B. I think it's a B, to be fair, because I think that the Commanders' defense will definitely be better, but.
Oh, Bobby, your thoughts, because you know a lot about the commies.
I know a lot about both teams. Dan Quinn, he would pick apart our feeble and terrible offensive line. I think Washington's defense will be much improved this year. I wouldn't say much improved, but better statistically, because they were the last ranked defense. So I think they can maybe move up a few spots.
And mind you, okay,
Like-
sorry. But mind you, they have some talent on that defense.
No, they definitely do.
Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Now, thank you, Commanders, for Montez Sweat. I really appreciate him. Appreciate you guys for giving him to us. But anyway, they still got Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne. Those two alone, I feel like, can just make your defensive line, your front seven, just really, really good. Super impactful guys. Those two are difference makers. I think with a guy like Dan Quinn, definitely will turn them around, even though they're already good. But they're going to play much better this year. And I do.
I hope not. But
he did get burned a lot. Mind you, AJ Brown was one of the guys that got burned, and I mean, I can't really blame someone.
I think the only problem
Emmanuel
with Forbes
got cut.
Forbes is like
by
he's
him.
too light. He's too light to play. Like
I think he still has talent. I think that's like a thing you gotta wait for a little bit. Like I think like he's had some tough moments, but also some good ones. I wouldn't write him off yet.
I'm not writing him off. I'm just saying it's difficult. Like I mean, Devontae Smith was like what 175. I feel like it's easier to be like a slimmer receiver than a slimmer corner, just due to like how physical some of these receivers are, like AJ Brown, like DK Metcalf, all those other guys. Point. I don't know. I mean, I thought it was a reach when they took him. I thought they were gonna take like Deontay Banks or Joey Porter, but best of luck to Forbes. But don't have good luck when you play the Giants.
So we have like a B tier for him.
Yeah. So again, I'm a big commander. I actually do like pay attention to Commanders a lot. As I was talking about, like they've got some guys on that defense. I know their defense was ranked last. That was Ron's fault. Ron's fault. Now, mind you, their defense can get better. Again, they have holes, but when you got guys on that D line like Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne, those two alone can impact anyone's defense. I promise you on that. And their secondary, Emmanuel Forbes got burned, but they still got guys like Benjamin St-Juste. Cam Curl is actually so underrated, in my opinion. I feel like that guy's a baller. That guy balls out.
Yeah, they're going to have to sign him.
Cam Curl balls out. And then, I mean, they just need some linebackers, I feel like. I do like Jamin Davis a little bit, but I feel like there is still a little bit left to be desired with him. But I do feel like Dan Quinn can release a little bit more potential out of these guys, with the exception of Allen and Payne, because they have already shown their full potential. But just wonder how their offense is going to be, though, and if they will keep Sam Howell or not. No one talks.
True. Okay, I mean it's a big question, but yeah, it's definitely been quiet. Okay, next up. We got Raheem Morris. He was the Rams DC, and it was pretty surprising because Bill Belichick had 2 interviews with the Falcons and didn't get the job. And then you got Raheem Morris, who was their interim. Now, I don't know as much about him either, but I will say this about the defense. He definitely turned this defense roster as a whole with Aaron Donald, who didn't, perform as well, but they also double teamed a lot. But that's beside the point. The point is, with Jalen Ramsey gone and their roster before the season, just in general being a little underwhelming because they're in the rebuild, he did a great job forming them into a overperforming team. So I think defensively he's a good guy, but as a head coach, I'm not entirely sure yet. I wouldn't put him in the Jeff Hafley tier of unsure, but because his interim head coaching record's definitely a big losing one, but he definitely has the experience, and he was able to form their defense well. And you got Jesse Bates, AJ Terrell, Jeff Okudah. You got some good guys, and I think their linebackers are underrated. You have a good defense, you can form pretty well.
What was his record in 2020? Was 4 and I don't even know, because they started what did they go?
I feel like they I don't know. Someone told me it was 20 and 50 something, and that might be all time, but I don't. That's
Morris's
not right.
record?
No. Okay, I was wrong. Just move. Yeah, I don't know what his record was, but I think it wasn't the greatest. But
4 and 7.
Yeah, but I think I like what he could do with the defense
in 2020, because Dan Quinn he choked a lot of games. They started off 0-5, so he took off. Raheem Morris took over as took over as interim. They went 4-7, ended the season 4-12 after starting off 0-5. Personally, this hire, I mean, maybe it's just maybe they trust him because the reconnection, because 2020.
That's what I think the move was from widely.
But like, okay, the Falcons' defense is already good. Like, it'll probably be better. Raheem Morris, I do think he's a good defensive mind, in my opinion. I do think the defense, will definitely be better, but it's not like it's gonna improve drastically because their defense is already really good. It's already really good, and I just put them in not sure yet personally because in my opinion, I feel like you have so much talent in this offense, and you want to hire an offensive guy to evaluate this offense and bring out the most out of these guys because you already have a good defense. Arthur Smith wasn't a defensive coach, and the Falcons' defense, regardless, was still
And he didn't
good.
use any of his 3 first-round top, 10 picks, the last 3 years.
Maybe Raheem Morris will hire an offensive coordinator for him to use his
I think as long as they get an OC, I think that will at least have competence to use the 3 first-round young talents. I think there's a chance his pairing plus the way he can shape defenses will be good, so I put it in B tier.
But here's
they also need a quarterback. I mean,
here's the
maybe
thing.
They sign a Gardner Minshew.
They get Justin. Even Gardner is good.
Here's the thing, man. This is why the Falcons are like the Bears. They're poverty, and no disrespect, they're better than us. So I kind of had no room to talk shit, even though we beat them 37-17. But, dude, you don't hire defensive coaches if you want your long-term quarterback, because then if you hire a good offensive coordinator, they're gonna get a head coaching gig, and then you're not gonna have that same offensive coordinator. And then once you get a different offensive coordinator, who knows if that quarterback is gonna be good, or is gonna continue to be good. And that's the thing. This is why I was so mad when we kept Matty first. But that's for a different day. I'm not sure about it because we spent more time on Dan Quinn, by the way, but I just don't know about this because it's because if you're going to get a guy like Justin, you need to have. I believe Justin has what it takes to be a good quarterback. I trust my boy. I want him to have a great career. And if they hire a good offensive coordinator, kudos to them. Kudos to Raheem Morris. But bad on the Falcons, because then that offensive coordinator will get a head coaching gig if Raheem Morris hires a good OC. And then in the long term from now, you're going to have to start paying your guys. And who knows, maybe you would have to pay Justin Fields if he ends up playing good, if he does. And then let's say everything becomes a disaster with your coaching staff. Then you have to fire your entire coaching staff, and you probably have to fire Raheem Morris a few years from now, and then you just have to start over in a rebuild. And it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I won't hate on it. I will give it a not sure yet. I don't know what to expect, but if it comes back and bites them, I don't know. I might be scratching my head for them, man.
I mean, Bobby, what's your final thoughts? Because if you guys both say not sure, I'll put him in not sure.
I think that's I think it's a fair evaluation. I mean, I feel like obviously there's so many unknowns when you hire a head coach, but
especially a DC. I'm just more confident than Mal is that this guy could be good. But then again, I thought they would be like this last year. Like if they can get a quarterback, whether it's trading up or whatever.
Problem. I think that they were the only team that actually thought Desmond Ridder had something.
And Desmond doesn't. He's not the guy.
No, yeah, no offense, Desmond Ridder, but
if they get a quarterback and an OC, a good OC, I just think they could do what I thought they could do last year. And I was high on Desmond Ridder last year, which obviously was a bad take, but
I think if Jaden Daniels falls to 8, which I really hope he doesn't, I hope one of the 3 quarterbacks is a New York Giant. But if he falls to 8, I think Atlanta should take him. I think he would be a great fit there.
100%. That'd be great.
And having all those
Okay.
great playmakers at the start of your career is great.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we have the GOAT, the man, the myth. I'm just kidding, but I'm a Seahawks fan. Okay, I'm a little excited. We got Ravens DC, 2 years with Baltimore, 2 years with Jim Harbaugh, Mike McDonald. I just want to say this. I think the main reason we hired Mike McDonald at this moment was it was between him and Johnson. And because Johnson declined after Seattle was like, all right, we're going to do 2 interviews, and Washington was also interested in Ben Johnson, I think it was widely between Ben Johnson and Mike McDonald. And simply put, Johnson didn't want to stay in Detroit, so we chose Mike McDonald. And I actually have talked myself into liking this a little better than Ben Johnson, because I think at the end of the day, one of the main reasons we kind of shit the bed in the second half of the season was our defense. We could not tackle. We had bottom 7 stats.
Running defense. The
and
running defense wasn't good.
Yeah, the running defense, especially with tackling, was horrible. Like, the Steelers game showed it to everybody. And
Jalen Warren, Najee Harris.
Oh, yeah, they both cooked us. But, like, the thing is, right, the year before when we had 9-8, we had similar stats. And what did we do? We addressed the defensive issues with personnel, and it still didn't work. So it showed coaching was an issue. And I didn't think, again, Seattle had the balls to clear at house, but they did. And I'm happy with it. Like, listen, I love Pete, but I think at the end of the day, if you really want to move further than the wild card round, you got to start fresh. And this guy hiring reminds me of when we first hired Pete, a more defensive-ish guy who had college and NFL level experience, and he could help build a more defensive identity. I also think our defensive roster is similar to the Ravens in some ways. Obviously, you don't have guys like Roquan Smith or Marlon Humphrey, but we have young corners, and linebacker, it's a bit of a question mark because Bobby and Jordan might be free agents, but and we also hopefully will sign Leonard Williams. But we have some like pass rush talent, and we led the NFC in sacks for a while in this season. So overall, I'm really excited what this guy can do with our defense. It will widely depend on how it does and if we can get our a good OC, because we also have an OC, DC, and some position coaches to fill. Our OC went to the Bears. Our DC and another Seahawks position coach went to the Eagles. Our DC, Clint Hurt, became their Eagles D-line coach. So anyway, I'm just excited for this hire. I actually prefer this a little more over Ben Johnson because I think defense is a little more of an issue, but I think we're going to give him control on who the OC is. So I think his OC choice will also widely help his evaluation in the future. But right now, I think this is at least an A tier.
I mean, there's a possibility he could like poach the Ravens quarterbacks coach to become the offensive coordinator. Maybe they just promote. Wait, no, their offensive coordinator's still there. Why did I think it was the Ravens offensive
He's
coordinator?
still there, yeah.
Yeah,
well, you
but
said the Ravens QB coach to be OC?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, with some level of familiarity with the two. I don't know.
That's true. I also want I think the Detroit Lions passing game coordinator also is a guy we have interviewed for OC, which I would be down with. I think, in my opinion, best of both worlds right there. We get a flash of Ben Johnson and a flash of, that Ravens offense and this Ravens defense. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is a great hiring. I think this is a top 3 out of this week. But Mal, your thoughts?
I think it's a good hire. I think as long as it helps out your defense, the running defense, it definitely struggled. That Steelers game, I remember watching it. Jalen Warren and
Najee, we already
Harris.
mentioned that.
Yeah.
They both had Najee had 2 touchdowns. Warren had 1. They both cooked.
That was a definite. That basically defined. Well, maybe I don't want to go that far, but it was basically.
I think it kind of does.
It defined
and we were back to where we started. We were back to where we started too, like in 2019, 2020, when our offense was good, our defense was the same, if not worse, except our pass defense was worse. But at the same time, I like Clint Hurt for what he did with our pass rush. So I think, considering this guy, the leading sacks defense, we could do even better. Also,
100%.
Zadarius Smith teased that he might come to Seattle because, obviously it's just a fan comment, but I think it would be very cool if we could get
Reunite.
Jadeveon Clowney reuniting or getting Zadarius Smith to Seattle. I wouldn't want both because we already have Boye Mafe, Uchenna Nwosu, Darrell Taylor. But I think one of those two guys would really help us if we can get them and at least resign Leonard Williams. So, beef
I
up
wouldn't
our
mind the
D-line. So
Giants
I
bringing
think this
back
is an A tier because I feel like this will widely depend on who the OC is in for Seattle because I think he's going to get a lot of control. And also, the Ravens wanted to keep this guy, by the way, but they said nah. They said he said he wanted to be a head coach somewhere, and he was excited about Seattle. So sorry for my rant there, guys, but I think as a Seahawks fan, you want to see my thoughts.
No, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, next up, Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers. I know, Mal, you're not great about this. This video got 170 views of your reaction, but I think this is the best W since Justin Herbert got drafted.
S tier. Anyone that puts it below S tier doesn't know has never seen a football.
Yeah, I mean, he's had success at the college and NFL level, but he also hasn't coached in 10 years at this level, so that's his only setback, but I think you still got to give it an S tier.
Yeah, and Justin Herbert's not going to have a brain-dead moron as his head coach who takes the time out.
Exactly. I mean, this is why, even if he is slightly underwhelming, bro, he's going to be it's still miles better than Brandon Staley.
He took them to 3 NFC championships in a row, the 49ers,
and the Super Bowl.
Smith, and in his first year, no disrespect to Alex Smith, but he's not no phenomenal quarterback. And I like Colin Kaepernick personally. I do think he had a lot of talent, but he had a lot of flaws. And Jim Harbaugh helped unleash all of his talent, and he took them to the NFC Championship 3 years in a row and went to the Super Bowl in one of those years. And you don't have Colin Kaepernick anymore. You don't have Alex Smith anymore. You have Justin Herbert. You have some offensive weapons. You have some defensive weapons. You hired an offensive coach, which is what winning teams do. Okay. Well, I mean, Mike McDonald's going to be great, but I think, dude, this is such a good hire. And the Chargers are serious. And, you see this idiot team right here?
They were a couple of years too late. Brandon Staley should get an award for bribing them to keep him, for convincing them to keep him for a couple extra years.
You see this dumb team right here? This dumb team right here decided they had the balls to not even attempt to interview Jim Harbaugh.
At least your team didn't hire Joe Judge. That's worse.
Oh.
Joe Judge was...
Watch us choke away 10 games this year. Just watch.
Or that guy from the Canadian Football League that maybe Bears hired or someone.
Dude,
anyway.
Mark Trestman. Oh my God, Mark Trestman was.
What's worse, Joe Judge or Mark Trestman?
Dude.
Joe Judge, no offense, bro, but you were a terrible head coach of the New York Giants.
Dude, we were down 42-0 at halftime in 2014, Week 10 versus Green Bay on Sunday Night Football with Mark Trestman, a CFL offensive coordinator, as our head coach. And we had a lot of talent on that roster. And we wasted it. We didn't get one winning season.
Okay, next up we got a more positive one for you, Mal. Shane Waldron, former Seahawks OC. I just want to say this is better than Luke Getsy. I know some Seahawks fans shit on him, but he was the guy out of our head coach in DC and OC that I would actually rather keep. I think he did solid stuff with the Rams. He does have a few goofs here and there, but I think he's overall pretty good. I hope he does well with Justin or Caleb. So that's all my thoughts.
I think this is a great hire, and I'm not trying to be biased here, but I like this hire. I think whoever, is our quarterback, this is a guy that has a He's pass heavy, and that's something that the Bears need to do more. That's something that the Bears failed to do with talented quarterbacks like Justin Fields, with a talent like Caleb Williams, who does have an arm. And if Caleb Williams does get drafted, he's walking into a situation where he has a legitimate number one wide receiver, one of the best in the league, and that's not biased. Not a lot of rookie quarterbacks go into a year where they have a true, legitimate 1,300-yard receiving wide receiver. That just doesn't happen. I think that Shane Waldron.
And you could get another one too at 9 if Rome Odunze, Malik Neighbors, if either or Brock Bowers. Maybe not Brock Bowers because you guys have Komet.
Maybe not Brock Bowers. They have a lot of tight end depth.
I'm really excited about like this move. I feel like he's gonna use. I mean, DJ Moore is good regardless, but I feel like he's gonna use DJ Moore really well. He's gonna use Cole Kmet really well, and maybe Rome Odunze if we draft him. And I think, I mean, dude, I know that Dave Canales was also a big reason for why Geno Smith revived, his career in Seattle. But I also feel like you have to,
he gives give credit. They both get credit.
That credit also has to go to Shane Waldron too. That shit just doesn't happen for no reason. Geno Smith doesn't go from being a quarterback, or just a backup level quarterback in the NFL to having a 4,000-yard, 30 touchdown season, something that the Bears have never had. If Shane Waldron can do that for us, man, I will fucking give him, excuse me, but I will give him all the flowers in the world, bro. I swear. I love this hire, personally.
Can I say my one concern, though? I still feel like DK, even though he had his second best year with like 1,300 yards or something, I still feel like he got underutilized a bit, and especially last year. But I will say 2020, I think, was the first year we got Shane Waldron, and he had a 1,300-yard year. I think we might have had Brian Schottenheimer for a bit of that season, and then we canned him and then got him in. But I still think Shane has that credit. So I don't know. I DJ Moore will always have a good season. I hope he utilizes him because I think DK, for example, has more potential. So I hope that offensive concern doesn't extend to more.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Granted, you have 3 great receivers, so it kind of makes sense for DK's.
That is very true. Bobby, your thoughts?
I mean, I think like in theory it's good, but I mean, yeah, it is good. I don't know why I'd say in theory. I mean, if it works out, it works out, but anything's pretty much better than Luke Getsy.
That's fair. All right, next up, Dave Canellis.
He was the best OC available.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, that's very true. Very true. All right, next up is Dave Canellis.
Hey, that's my opinion. I think he was very.
Yeah, honestly, this was out of left field for me. Listen, I'm not saying he's bad. He was great with Seattle to revive Geno. It's why he got the Bucs OC job. And he did great helping revive Baker's Mayfield and overall helping this Tampa Bay offense overachieve. Or the whole team overachieve. He was a part of it. He was like a bit of the system, but I didn't expect him 1 year into being a Bucs OC to be immediately offered a head coach, but I think it makes sense. I mean, again, he's still a young guy. He's jumping from a quarterback's coach to a head coach really fast, but if he can help Baker and Geno, especially, I'm excited what he's going to do with Young, frankly. So I think this is an A-tier move, but also part of me is saying we'll see. Okay, mouse on mute. Sorry. All right.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. I mean, I agree with you, man. You turn around Geno Smith and Baker Mayfield, that stuff just doesn't happen for no reason. Also just shows why you just show patience with your quarterback. So Panthers fans just bear with him and show some faith in Bryce Young.
I mean, I think a lot of Panthers fans and other fans will agree that the situation he was walking into wasn't the best. So I don't think all of it's on Young.
He has some talent. I could see him being like maybe Dave Canales turning him into a Kyler Murray type, and Kyler Murray is a good quarterback. So if
I still don't see him having the speed like Kyler does or Lamar, but or not speed, but like quick getaways. But I think he could still be like a good scrambling guy if he needs to, you know?
yeah, but Kyler Murray also has a pretty decent arm too, so I just feel like I see Kyler
No, I think
Murray.
Bryce does too.
No, that's what I'm saying. I see like
If they can
Kyler,
use him like Russell Wilson.
when I watch Bryce, I always see Kyler Murray when I watch him, and that's pretty good in my opinion. And I think Dave Canales will really help him out. You just need to get that roster better, man. Adam Thielen though, that's one guy he was able to
Yeah, but the
rely on.
fact that Adams, your main guy, is a little concerning. But
Look,
like, yeah, we'll see how it goes because Brian Burns might be a free agent, but like walking into this job in general is really gutsy, so I respect the hell out of him for it. All right. Anyway, before we take a break, Cliff Kingsbury got hired as the Raiders OC. I think he pioneered the air raid offense. I think he's pretty he wasn't a great head coach, but I think offensive wise, he's done stuff with Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech. I think he could be pretty good, like as their OC along with Antonio Pierce. I think Antonio Pierce was I forgot to put Antonio Pierce in here. Fuck. Damn it.
yeah.
Okay. Damn it.
Wait,
Why don't we pair them together? Let's pair Kingsbury and Pierce. I think with Pierce he's gonna be great. Whoever their QB is, obviously. I don't
and
like
Gerard Mayo isn't there
Aiden
either.
O'Connell.
I don't know. No Gerard Mayo either. But we can just talk about Mayo. I mean,
yeah.
Oh god, I forgot to. Sorry.
no, it's fine. It's
Sorry.
fine. Don't worry.
Okay, but thoughts on let's just call this the Antonio Pierce / Kingsbury pairing. Or actually, we got like a minute left here, but
I think
your
it's
guys' quick
good
thoughts
hire.
on Kingsbury.
I think maybe they trade up and get Caleb Williams. I don't know. Maybe that's me.
Well, we better get.
I think they
three
need to because
first-round picks.
O'Connell's not the guy, bro. Sorry, Mal. Sorry, cut you off.
Oh yeah,
We better get like 3 first-round picks and freaking a player in return if you're gonna trade up for Caleb Williams, bro. We better, man. Raiders, you guys are not gonna play with us, bro. You guys are gonna give us a haul, or we're not trading, or we're not giving you Caleb Williams. It's that simple. I don't care if Kingsbury's your offensive coordinator. You give us that bag, okay? You're listening to me right now, all right? Las Vegas, okay? Las Vegas, listen to me right now, okay? If you don't give us that bag, if you don't give us that haul, you will never get a quarterback in your life. And I promise you, and I promise you, and I promise you I will be there on your funeral. I'm just like.
All right, welcome back, guys. We had some technical difficulties there with the tier list. I forgot to add the Patriots head coach and Antonio Pierce, so I'll just pick it up back where we left off on. We're talking about Cliff Kingsbury with the Raiders being their OC.
Also, guys, sorry, I don't know why anyone I was a little like my voice was satire when I said if you don't trade us a haul for Caleb Williams, then I'll be at the Raiders funeral. Like that wasn't serious at all. So don't take anything out of context, please.
So we think it's a solid move, basically.
Yeah. If they get Caleb Williams, I think it'll be a great move. But again, you guys better give us a haul, or else we better say no. It's that simple.
Oh shit. Whoops, sorry. Okay, next up we have Antonio Pierce.
I put it in A tier. He did a great job with the bad Raiders team last year. And after the Josh McDaniels debacle, I don't even know why they hired him. It was Josh McDaniels is such an idiot. It was such a dumb hire.
I think this is a good hire. Oh, sorry. Was I interrupting?
No, it's fine. But I felt like Antonio Pierce, all those players rallied behind him, so I think it's a good hire for the Raiders. Yeah.
Wait. Sorry. My bad. I think this is a good hire. I think they were able to pull off some upsets. Now I don't know. This Raiders roster is good, but I don't know how good they really will be next year. I think they'll be solid. And I do think they'll be able to pull off some defensive upsets. They pulled off in which pretty much was an upset versus the Chiefs on Christmas Day. I feel like they're going to be able to be that team that they'll be good, but there will be games where they'll be like freaking 8.5-point underdogs, and then they'll just pull off some crazy upset like 19-7 or something. But you know what? I feel like Antonio Pierce is that kind of head coach, and sometimes those are just sometimes that's just all you need. Sometimes you just need to win by any means necessary, no matter how ugly you play. And I feel like that's what it comes down to with Antonio Pierce. That's the bottom line. He just wins. You just win. The Raiders were just able to win games, no matter if they were ugly or not, no matter if they had Aiden O'Connell and they were scoring like 13 points. If they win 13-10 and they go like 10-7 this year, which man, that's a lot to ask for, then honestly, if you're a Raiders fan, I feel like I wouldn't complain if I'm a Raiders fan. So yeah,
I
I
mean,
like
you
this.
still got the Chiefs and I think the Chargers will be revamped in that division too, but I think the Broncos could go down a little bit because I feel like the Raiders will be in potentially a better position to trade up to get a quarterback. It'll just really depend what they do with QB. Like we said with Cliff, I don't think Aiden O'Connell's the long-term guy there, but the team really likes him. And I think since that first 63-point bomber, against the Chargers, everyone looked happy. Devontae Adams looked happier to be there. Like that whole team rallies around him, and they finally made a good head coaching decision. Like they should have kept Rich Bisaccia and not hire Josh McDaniels, but at least they're finally not making the same mistake twice. So I'd say it's A tier as well. Next up, I want to save Kellen Moore and Vic because I want Bobby's reaction here and thoughts. But next up, we got Bryce Callahan of the Tennessee Titans. He was the Bengals OC. Personally, I think this move it wasn't a bad move. I think it's actually solid, but the fact that you give up Mike Vrabel, I think puts this into perspective a bit. I feel like if you were the Titans, you would want to make a splash at Belichick or Jim Harbaugh, but you get Bryce Callahan, and it's not a bad move, but it's just that the whole decision making of letting Mike go in the first place when I think it was his roster that led him there was just very interesting. So I put this in a B tier. Again, I don't hate the guy himself. I know the rest of you guys were kind of critiquing on ability, but I feel like the whole hire as well. We're also critiquing on how the move was. So I'd put this in a B or C tier because of the move, but I don't hate the guy.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't love it. Sorry, Mel. But I think they hired him to really help the development of the young players they have on their offense.
Will Levis, Jalen Burks, Tajay Spears. I think Tajay Spears will be solid with someone else to fill in for Derrick Henry if Henry doesn't come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. This might be a little bit of a blooper moment, but I kind of had to use the bathroom right now. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, go ahead and mute it. It's okay. So overall, I think this is a B or C tier. I don't hate it or love it. Actually, I'm gonna put it in C tier. I get why, in terms of the good, but I also don't get why they decide to, hey, let's not hire. Let's get rid of Mike Vrabel and replace him.
Yeah. No, I agree.
You had a problem. Other problems on your team, yet you decided to create one more. I think it was really just front office differences.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But anyway, Mayo. My main thoughts on this guy are, listen, I don't think it's a bad move because he's been a big leader in that team for multiple years, but I feel like if you're the Pats, you kind of want to start fresh here.
Yeah,
and yeah, exactly. And I just think if you wanted to do that, this wasn't the right move to hire inside. And also, he was a linebacker coach, right?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, your defense has still been good and it even upset teams this year, but I feel like you want an offensive guy to help the development of whoever your new QB is, which you are in prime position to get because Zappy's not the answer. Jones, it looks like, at least in New England, is coming to an end. So I feel like you would want a more offensive guy. So I'm not saying I think leadership wise and experience, kind of like with Raheem Morris, experience with the team is why they did it. I'm putting it in like C tier, honestly.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I agree.
Yeah, so you agree it basically outside organization.
Yeah.
Okay, we got the meat and potatoes here for you, Bobby. So the Eagles, you were shitting, you were happy their coordinators were not doing well, and they go out and get Vic Fangio as DC and Kellen Moore as OC.
Kellen Moore. I'm very familiar with Kellen Moore, especially with the Cowboys. He's a decent offensive coordinator.
Head coach, he wasn't really the answer, though, right?
Yeah, so I don't really know how much you can, like, how do I say this? Truly gauge it. But, I'd put it probably B tier. And then Fangio.
Right.
I mean,
Oh yeah, we'll go back to yours in a second.
Good defensive coordinator, but I don't know how good Miami's defense was this year. They definitely had moments where they were good, but they also had some really bad moments too. So you never know.
Okay, let's.
I know I spelled that horribly wrong. Take a look at some stats here. This is actually a lot. Okay. Wait, defense allowed 26 was ranked. They're number 5 actually, allowing 293 per game, which ranks only behind the Cleveland Browns in terms of yards per game. I'll say this. They were definitely a lot better than last year. And I think Vic Fangio, he has proven to be a terrible head coach, and he's not great when it comes to developing a QB, but he doesn't have to do that anymore. He's a DC, and I think this is where he specializes best in. So this is, I don't know. I think the Eagles are going to be reloaded. They did what they needed to do.
Here's my reaction. I don't want to, my opinion's different from you guys. I think this is an elite hire. He's not going to be a head coach. He's going to be a defense coordinator. And this is coming from a Bears fan who has experience with Vic Fangio. We had him, right, in which our defense was elite. Like, I don't care what anyone says. You can call me a biased Bears fan all you want. But 2018, the Bears had the best defense in all of football. Fight me about it. Fight me. They had the best defense in all of football. And when we let him go, when he got a head coaching gig, our defense wasn't anywhere near as good. And we had the same players on our roster. Mind you, yes, we did add, Khalil Mack and Roquan Smith in 2018. But Roquan didn't even play that many snaps as a rookie in 2018. And Khalil Mack, yeah, he was a big difference maker when we added him. But basically, outside of that, we basically still had the same exact guys on defense that we had during our poverty years before being good in 2018. I think this is a great hire. The Eagles, they have some guys on defense. They have some dogs, man. Dude, Vic Fangio is going to use them right. The Eagles, okay, in my prediction, they're going to be one of the best. Like, they're going to be top 4. I don't care if anyone wants to fight me on it. This is coming from a fan that has experience with this guy as a defensive coordinator. It was really sad when we let him go. Our defense has not been anywhere the same since he left. He'll make a defense good. He made Miami's defense the number 5 defense, as you guys just saw. But this Eagles defense has way more talent, in my opinion, than the Dolphins. I think he's gonna,
100%. And they got young guys too.
Maximize everyone's potential. My personal opinion, I think, since he's not hired as a head coach, I think that this is an S tier, not anywhere lower than that. I think the Eagles defense is going to be great this year.
I mean, I didn't disagree that it was a bad hire. I thought it was at least I think A tier's pretty reasonable. I think linebacker's a concern, but like I think you said earlier, like if they could try to draft what's his name?
Jeremiah Trotter from Clemson.
Yeah, because I think their linebackers are pretty young, but
Their
they have good
linebackers are
safety. They
piss
have
poor.
good D line. They have good DBs. Wait, what'd you say?
Their linebacking unit is piss poor. They
Oh
signed
no, yeah,
Darius.
that's their main weakness.
They signed
Dude,
Darius
Vic,
Leonard, and he's no offense, Darius, but it's like he's not the same player he was a few years ago.
I'll
I
give
think
this
it's
thing to Vic Fangio, though. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
obviously with all the injuries.
Sorry, my bad. But I feel like, okay, personally, I know you guys are probably going to disagree with me, S tier, but personally, you got to realize this. This guy was making guys like Nick Kwiatkowski. You guys probably never heard of him in your life.
I know him, Madden legend. He would get 11 tackles a game. I remember playing with him in Madden 18. He was good.
This guy was the freaking Vic Fangio was making guys like Nick Kwiatkowski look good. Like I personally, man, I feel like this is so elite, and I feel like if you're an Eagles fan, you should be super happy about this move. Personally, I would put this
Now that you
S.
said that, it's gonna make me miserable.
I'm sorry,
I
man,
mean,
but
No, it's fine. It's
unfortunately, I
fine.
think it is a good move, but I'm
No, I do
keeping it at
too.
A tier because, like, I know their defense was top like 5 in yards, but they still had some like iffy moments with the Dolphins. I think defensively, Bears and Broncos were a little more of his peak, but I still think yeah he'll do great stuff with this
the
defense.
Dolphins
So
don't have
unfortunately
a roster
for the
defensively.
NFC East. They
Would be.
unfortunately for the NFC East, they the biggest weakness, arguably that might have caused their downfall, they addressed really well this offseason. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
but
think
I'd say A tier. Well, we're just going with a happy middle here.
that's fair. That's
Okay,
fair.
so there concludes our list of OC and recent OC and head coach hirings. So yeah, leave a like and subscribe. We're going to have more content and Super Bowl picks out soon.
Make sure to like,
And yeah,
follow.
I want to tell.
what's up?
So I have a special jersey coming in the mail. Will be arriving Wednesday.
Oh,
So
you
when we
purchased a
go,
Niners jersey, didn't you?
no, I don't know. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. But I will wear that jersey for our Super Bowl predictions. So
Oh, baby. Also,
Nice.
this is random. I guess I haven't fully told you guys this yet, but my Niners fan friend Tyler, I don't know if you saw his clip in the reactions video to the conference championships near the end, but I might bring him on the show. He watched the videos and likes them, so he might be coming on for our Super Bowl predictions video. I think it'll be pretty exciting. And yeah, but yeah, special jersey.
yeah,
Wow.
who knows? Who knows?
I mean, anyone but the Chiefs, bro. But we'll see. All right, that'll do it for this video, guys. Yeah, leave a like and subscribe. We're also putting more TikTok content out soon. And yeah, we'll see you guys later.